Now this illustration deals with branch-circuit conductors, where the branch-circuit conductors are going to be larger than the tap conductors to these branch circuits supplying lamp holders. Now, I would suggest if you're going to take a 40 or 50 amp overcurrent device and supply fixtures that are tapped with number 12 to the lamp, such as HID type lighting fixtures. There's some sections that's very important to really get a handle on why this is permitted. Now, in the NEC loop, as you always see, we have that available to you so it increases your knowledge on what's taking place here. So we suggest you look at 210.19A4, exception 1, 210.21A, and 210.23A through D, and 240.4B2. Now, when we review branch circuits in 240.21A, notice the lamps in 210.21A. We are tapping to each one of these HID safe fixtures, and say they're 1,000 watt. And number 12 wire is tapped to the fixtures as permitted in 210.19A4, exception 1. Then notice we have number 8 conductors for the branch circuit protected with a 40 amp device. Now you notice we're tapping with number 12 conductors to number 8 protected by a 40 amp device, where number 12 is supposed to be protected at 20 amps. But applying 210.19A4, that exception 1, and then going over and looking at 240.21 and 240.20, we find that we could use a 40 amp overcurrent device on number 8 wire and tap with number 12 to 1,000 watt HID fixtures, as long as we have heavy duty lamp holders. And we have the ad medium type, 660 watt. The type that you see in the illustration are heavy duty type, and they're 750 watts or larger. So since those are 1,000 watt HIDs, which will really flood our area well, then we could use those. And say if that was say a 480 volt circuit, for example, or 240, 120, whatever it might be, you notice that you could put quite a few lamps on that 40 amp circuit. Now the only thing where I've seen these installed before would be in high bay areas, and you'd have a row, and a row, say. Well, if the middle row went out, you still have 2 rows. And they would do this because they wouldn't want to put all of them on one circuit, because if you lost this, you lost all your lighting. And then if you have an emergency type lighting too, then you notice those HID have an arcing effect before they come on and really glow and start glowing bright. So usually you have a battery backup or something where you really have to have them back on immediately. But where you had, say, 3 rows, then if you lost any one of those rows, you got 2 other rows to provide lighting until you get it back on. So this is the way they kind of provide the lighting, so they always have lighting to an area. But a lot of times you'll ask people, and they say, oh, no, you couldn't take a 40 amp device on number 8 wire and tap with number 12 wire to supply that. Now, I suggest if you want to get a handle on this and just look at one table that'll give you all this information, just go to table 210.24, and that table will list all this information that I'm giving you, and you don't even have to go through a number of these articles to understand it or do it. And I would say to perform the installation, just go to that table, 210.24. Everything is listed there. Taps, branch circuit sizing, regular lamps, additional larger lamps, everything's listed there with the circuit. But if you want to learn what's all behind this installation and why it can be used, go through the NEC loop. So figure 9-21 is simply illustrating a branch circuit that's 40 amp, number 8 wire, with tap conductors to the lamp holders, heavy duty lamp holders, with number 12 wire, in accordance with 240.21A to start with. And then you have to look at the other sections that I have mentioned to you. So that's what you figure 9-21 is illustrating.